We have a session streamed from SBER Offline Hub, the future of streaming platforms. Live Q&A with Mikhail Ilyichev, CEO at SberZvuk, moderated by Alexander BELOV, head of SBER VC community.
So, our colleagues are saying that we are already live, so I want to welcome everyone at this probably the best conference for startups and investors emerge. So let us wave at everyone who's online here. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone's in the audience. And today we're having a very interesting discussion with a guru of media content and digital media flows distribution. It's Mikhail Ilyichev, CEO of music streaming service Zvooq, SberZvuk. Welcome. I know that you're an expert not only in audio, and you have great experience working with video content, streaming video content and images. And I think that I want to structure this discussion around your visionary points of view. What do you think about the trends in video content and everything? And maybe talking about the forecast. So in connection to this, I have a question. The first question is a bit of a retrospective. Could you tell us what was the streaming market like when you were just starting, how the market's changed now, and how it affected how SberZvuk changed as a product? Okay, Zvooq was the first legal streaming service in Russia. It was launched in 2010, and it was inspired by the recent launch of Spotify in several countries back then. So we thought that it's time to launch the legal streaming services in Russia because it was clear that the music has undergone its digital transformation in the beginning of the 2000s. It became digital faster than other forms, although the main beneficiaries of this process were the pirates. But the idea was that the legal distribution of content, it's something that's supposed to be everywhere, and illegal distribution of the content should be an exception. So that's why we thought that it's time to invest in that. We know that the piracy in Russia is out there, has been out there for a long time, and we've been fighting pirates for a while, and we've been closing the websites that were distributing illegally music and so on. So finally the time has come, and I can say that in music the piracy is defeated more than in other types of contents, because when you want to watch a movie or read a book, you can get an idea which book you want to find, which video you want to find, and you can find it in torrent or in some other pirate resources. But as for music, now you need a service that offers you different kinds of music, and you want to be able to search for it, to turn it on the go without spending too much time on it. So you can find some specific tracks or specific albums, but it's one thing. But if you want to listen to music freely and so on, then it's you need a proper streaming service. So the main challenge was piracy, and to defeat it, we did a lot in music. We agreed with the corporate owners to experiment to listen to music for free in shuffle mode. Not some specific music, but just to listen to some random songs, to shuffle, and it was really great. And back then, it was the iTunes era, and people believed that iTunes would be the only one who will be working on it. But in Russia, there was no iTunes era. It was launched quite late, and it was replaced very soon. And they were making money on people paying per track or per album, and they didn't want people to look for free. But we have managed to explain and to persuade the owners that it's a funnel, it's the right way. And it was possible to consume some amount of music for free, and then the trial period was on, and for the first period you were able to use the service, having the full functionality available, and that would give you the chance to understand that it's convenient, it's handy, and it works well with selection. It packs the content up into some playlists and so on. And the pirated sources didn't do this because they were following DMCA rule. But basically, you don't. And this DMCA principle was that somebody uploaded something to you, and if you and it's not yours, and if you respond fast, then no issue. So we were fighting them, and then we also connected the mobile operators billing, because only 1/3 of accounts had their cards connected to Google Pay, and very often there were no money. And because even when people wanted to pay for music, then there was a very complex process was started. And you always you always top up your mobile phone, and you always have some balance on it, so it made it easier. And it was also fighting for the user's attention. So basically, we can come to the conclusion that the service defeated piracy. Well, not exactly. Probably we can say that a lot of effort was spent by the owners. And if you remember, the situation was as follows: one proposal is deleted, and then the other proposal is there, and and there was moderation. So it was fighting the windmills, and we had to utilize a different approach. So we were fighting the pirates, and Roskomnadzor, or Russian Communications Supervision Agency, had also stepped in. And the copyright holders stepped in, and so we were offering the alternative, the legal alternative that was also available, and that was probably better than the pirate resources. But what kind of challenges do you have in Zvooq, and when it comes to streaming video content? What kind of challenges do you see in general? Well, I'll be talking mainly about streaming, although together with the team, we try to not think audio only. Yes, it's audio-first content for us. It's the content that you can listen to with your ears only, and this is sufficient. But theoretically, every second of this content can be accompanied by some kind of imaging on the screen. Because how you consume your audio, you consume it via the devices that have screens, and at that point of time, you can have some images, it can be a music video or maybe some looped video, and if it's podcast, then you can upload the relevant images from Wikipedia and so on. And if it's learning content or kids content, you can add some interactive imaging on the screen. So we are trying to think along these lines, that it's audio content that can be accompanied with some visuals. But now these borders are not, these straightforward. And as for audio streaming challenges, I think the main challenge is to take the audio or music streaming from the mobile app framework. How come? Now when we are talking about audio streaming, we are thinking about the apps on the phones, right? And I think that it used to be an advantage for streaming music. Yeah, you see, you have access to all kinds of music through all over the world from your mobile phone. But now I think it's legacy. Why? Because mobile app, website, fine. But we are trying to listen to music on the go regularly, and it's a mobile format, and this app is a complex product. You need to log in, you need to set preferences, you need to log on, pay for something. And in general, when people use smartphones, they are using something simpler like Sberbank Online to transfer money and so on, and they use messengers to talk to their colleagues. But downloading an app, working with settings, and I'd like to imagine you're walking along through the sky. How many people do you have without the headsets? A lot. And all of them have smartphones, but for some reason they're not listening to music. And another explanation here is that the mobile phone in itself is a highly competitive medium. You receive some message and you want to, and you see there is something on Instagram, and you watch some video with the sound on, and that's why people do not always get back to music. And I think audio streaming will be totally popular and even more popular only when it will be available in all kinds of devices that that are around you. Maybe we can visualize. Maybe it'll be similar. Well, if those frameworks, if those borders between different devices disappear, how could it look like? Well, if you take a look really afar, then it'll be audio and video mix, the so-called augmented reality. And we are living in the augmented reality, audio augmented reality, like the navigators that we use. And if you notice, now it's polite to leave your AirPods in your ears. And you're having earpods on and you talk to the person and no one knows that probably at the same time, maybe at the same time you're listening to music, or it's in one ear only and so on. So, first it's something like audio guide or audio doorman. Like in the morning you wake up listening to the bird song, and then you are outside your apartment building and there is some march playing, and then you receive a hint that here behind the corner you have there is a coffee place and there is a discount for you, and if you want me, an audio guide says I can warn the barista to start making it, and in 2 minutes time you'll pick it up and keep going and so on. Nowadays, it's basically we spend 24 hours a day having at least one device next to us. And now, probably the technology is not yet there, and people are not ready to have this augmented reality around them all the time. And if you remember, there is a very startup with Russian roots. But I think it'll be audio that will be following us everywhere, and then images will be added. So that's probably this content streaming of the future that I can predict. Okay. Then topical question related to this year. Clubhouse. How can you explain the phenomenon of Clubhouse in terms of user patterns in 2021? Well, Clubhouse, I think it's more of a coincidences or serendipities. We were isolated. We were lacking communication, and famous people wanted to keep sharing their views and ideas. So, but celebrities. What is celebrity now? It's basically famous people, and they are mainly famous not by their professional activity, but by their media activity. For instance, media people. There are quite a lot of media people who became quite famous, who became celebrities, not as much thanks to the music they create or something, but mainly to their activity in social media and in events and so on. And at one point of time, they took it away from us, and we were lacking communication, and celebrities were also hit hard with it. So I think this is a time thing. And another, I think and hope it's a longer term trend than just the pandemic trend. The content was not being transformed. Text turned into SMS messages, into tweets, into text messages, into stickers, pictures. Well, we remember Prisma and Instagram. It started as a filter. Videos with masks. In TikTok they also have this. So these are not the things that just went digital. Like video became digital and became YouTube. So it was not just. It's a different type of content. And as for audio has not yet transformed in such a way. And technically, audio content is trickier to process than text and then images and even then video. You have fewer data there, and it's harder to synthesize. We have an AI lab in SBER, and they have a playlist and different samples, different music genres, and these music samples, they also have lyrics. And it synthesizes music and lyrics, but it's not lyrics. You hear some random syllables, and it sounds like English, but it's not English, if it's country music, for instance. So now it's not just speech to text. It's about processing and synthesizing audio, and I think we'll be observing the changes, and maybe we'll be going towards social plus like Clubhouse. But there is a service that helps you creating music with the help of AI, adding your voice, and they are also promising that they'll distribute some good pieces of work to other platforms. And I think there will be things appearing as a mix of karaoke and collabs, like when you can murmur something together with a celebrity, and it'll be processed, and you'll be able to post it, and it won't be like, wow. Well, you can. Sometimes you come to karaoke and someone is singing as though it's the golden voice of Russian beautifully, and the rest can just go. No, it'll be fun, it'll be easy, and it'll be accessible to everyone. Well, let's take the Russian cartoon studios. They use Multfilm, some classic cartoons like Cheburashka, and there is an interaction between three main characters in this in the cartoon, and it'll be possible for kids to play with it, and the children will be able to revoice or dub these cartoon characters, and it'll be sent to mothers and fathers and to some relatives everywhere and so on. And I think we'll be getting this kind of content. Okay, could you make a forecast for, I don't know, 2030? What media content market be like? What kind of content distribution will be there? And maybe you can try to guess which new multimedia format will make bang. So do you have this kind of forecast? Well, we have already fantasized a bit, mainly about form. Well, I think, well, if you take 2030, I think it'll be content that'll be closer to biotech. Not literally. I'm not offering anyone to inject something or implant something, although it would be convenient. But the point of it will be it adapting to your physiology, your mood, your heartbeat. And it won't be some functional recommendations that we can come up with now, but it'll be more, native to your current biological state, on personal and on a team basis. Imagine there is a rave happening, and there is no DJ, but instead of DJ, there is an AI, and at the entrance you have watch or some smartwatch that measures some biological markings, and AI, who is a DJ, will try to adapt its track that it's playing to the general audience for the majority of people to enjoy. And it'll be like a group format, and when it's personalized, it'll be even easier. For instance, you ask to play a service to play something, and the tone of your voice will be able to tell the service more than just going through your history. And if you say, please play something fun to me, then it'll be clear for the service what to play. And this content will be will be able to follow us. And when you're sad, when you're happy, and so on. And also what you want to do when you're sad, to become even sadder, or you want to become happier. So it'll be about adjusting to your physiology and biology. Tell me, in 10 years' time, it'll be audio or will be number one, video or audio? Well, I think it'll be a mix of format. But I'm sure that it'll be consuming with ears more, because we have limit. The screen time is limited. And through the years, you can consume longer and more, and you can consume faster, 2 times faster, playing the track and so on. I think ears will be, you cannot, I think we physically reach the screen time limit. I think it's the reply to expect from CEO of SberZvuk. Thank you very much, Mikhail. Very interesting. Some very interesting thoughts that do not occur to you when you're just consuming the content. Thank you very much for insights. Thank you for your questions. It was very useful. I think it'll be useful to the viewers.